Well, the US House of Representatives has adjourned after failing to elect a speaker. Republican favourite Kevin McCarthy lost an historic 3 ballots after he failed to secure a majority. Fox News reporter Lauren Blanchard is in Washington, D.C. with more details.
A chaotic start for the 118th Congress, now with Republicans in charge in the House, but the party is split on who should lead them.
A speaker has not been elected.
For the first time in a century, a vote for House Speaker was not decided on the first, second, or even third ballot. GOP leader Kevin McCarthy received a large number of Republican votes, but with such a slim majority, there were just not enough members to elect him on the first attempt. Andy Biggs of Arizona challenged him for the post, and Ohio's Jim Jordan was nominated for the second round, despite his support for McCarthy.
Well, sometimes we have to do jobs that we don't really want to do. And sometimes we have to do jobs that we are called to do.
McCarthy's opponents argue he is part of the establishment and doesn't have an aggressive enough approach to take on congressional Democrats.
How are we going to fix this if we keep doing the same things and getting the same outcomes?
In the lead up to Tuesday's vote, McCarthy offered his GOP critics concessions, including making it easier for members to remove him from his position.
There's times we're going to have to argue with our own members if they're looking at for only positions for themselves, not for the country.
For now, Democrats are content to watch their counterparts battle it out on the House floor, with Hakeem Jeffries gearing up to become minority leader.
Certainly, from the Democrats' perspective, it's get out the popcorn.
Until a speaker is elected, House members will have to wait to be sworn in.
Well, joining me live now to discuss more on this is Simon Jackman, political scientist from the University of Sydney. Simon, thanks for your time this afternoon. Tell me, what went wrong for McCarthy?
What went wrong for McCarthy is what's gone wrong for a lot of Republican leaders of the House of Representatives caucus. And that is they are a wild and unruly, almost ungovernable bunch, going right back to Newt Gingrich. There's a long line of speakers when Republicans have a majority of the House who have failed to be able to corral their own members. Now, what's distinctive about this time, the magic ingredient this time is Donald Trump and the energy he has put into the more extreme end of the Republican Party, and emboldened, I think, has shown a small but significant number of Republicans that there is no end to the crazy, that if you go harder and harder and harder, there is very little political downside, particularly in some of the districts that these members are coming from. This anti-establishment streak in the Republican Party has a long, long history, but it's reached a sort of, I think, a new height now. Typically, it mucks up speakers midway through their term. Here, it's mucking up a speaker trying to get elected in the first place, and that's a first. We haven't seen that in a century.
And this failed vote really has exposed some divisions within the House Republicans about the direction of the party.
Yeah, that's right. Look, the long-standing tension that I just referred to is really one about, what is the role of the government in American society? And there's a streak of republicanism, a long-standing streak, that says there is no role, or an extremely limited role for government. And if government is hung up, if the Congress can't do anything because they haven't got a speaker, that's okay with a certain segment of that fringe of the Republican Party. What's different this time is that those voices are emboldened to even attack the election of a speaker to begin with and feel they have sufficient numbers and that this is their moment. Republicans have taken control of the Congress, but they want to secure concessions from whoever's going to be speaker, that this fringe group is not going to be treated as a fringe group, that they're going to have concessions with the ability to bring motions to the floor of the House, to get committee chairmanships. They want that power to help pull the agenda in their direction and not let someone who they think, like Kevin McCarthy, is going to run to the centre and at times even do deals with the Biden administration, which is just anathema to this small but incredibly powerful group of fringe Republicans.
And Simon, the voting will now continue. What do you predict the outcome is likely to look like?
I have no idea. I think ultimately McCarthy gets there. I think what he's going to have to do is to make more concessions to that fringe group of Republicans. He's going to have to offer them something he hasn't offered yet. He's offered them the ability to fire him, something most speakers like to take off the table after they've been elected. But keep an eye on committee chairmanships and some of the more, this probably won't make the headlines, but the more nitty-gritty about procedures in the House of Representatives. Under what circumstances can you bring an amendment to the floor? Who controls the process whereby amendments are brought to the floor? And moreover, are they going to really stick it to the Biden administration, if you will, a reverse Jan 6 commission, an investigation into the January 6 commission? I think that's what this more extreme group of Republicans are asking for. And I think if McCarthy gives them that, then they may flip their support to him. But some will hold out. It's going to be line ball vote counting until this thing gets done.
Yeah, time will tell. Simon, thank you for your analysis today.